name is Mallory Callans, and I am a student at Mercer University. I'll be graduating next month with my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for being out here today to support and raise awareness for everyone who's been affected by eating disorders. As Lila mentioned, it's a public health crisis, and the biggest part is raising awareness and making sure that everybody is educated and aware of what's going on. Also, as Lila mentioned, according to the National Eating Disorder Association, 28.8 million Americans will suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their life, and that's a lot of people. It's also important to note that eating disorders are the second most deadly mental health disorder ever. That is why it's so important that we're all here raising awareness for this severe illness that impacts people from all walks of life. Eating disorders can affect people of all ages, genders, ethnicities, and sexualities. They are not a choice, and they can lead to severe damage, both emotionally and physically. It's also important to note that eating disorders can lead to damage of the cardiovascular system, gastrointestinal system, the brain, and more. Along with the physical damage, there's a huge emotional toll that eating disorders take. Recovering from an eating disorder requires a lot of vulnerability, strength, and bravery. It's not a linear process, and there's often so many setbacks along the way. Recovery is a lifelong journey for many survivors, but a life beyond eating disorders is worth every step of that journey. Beyond the difficulties that come with recovery itself, we live in a society that does not encourage life without eating disorders. There's a thin ideal culture that promotes diet culture and enforces the weight stigma. There's been a very large recent pushback to this ideal in the last few years especially, and even many celebrities have been speaking out against it. Even in just the last recent months, we've seen celebrities as Selena Gomez, Ed Sheeran, and Ariana Grande speaking out against this thin ideal. It's so important that we continue speaking out against this ideal in order to create change within our society. So what can we all do to help prevent eating disorders? Eating disorder prevention requires a systemic effort to change things in our society that promote, initiate, sustain, or intensify symptoms of eating disorders. While eating disorder risk factors can range from biological, psychological, and sociocultural factors, we know that those who suffer from negative body image and low self-esteem are at a high risk of developing an eating disorder. Systemic change starts at rejecting diet culture and breaking down the weight stigma at an individual level. Breaking down these stigmas is essential to creating safe spaces for those who are struggling to get the help and support that they need, especially those from marginalized communities. Part of rejecting diet culture is learning to live intuitively and to appreciate life beyond what our bodies look like or what we are eating. In conclusion, I want to thank everyone for being out here to support and raise awareness for those who have been affected by eating disorders. This is an extremely important cause to me as I've become more and more passionate about dismantling diet culture and breaking down the weight stigma. Aside from my own journey with all of this, I have seen the thin ideal culture affect many of my friends, family members, and even my clients. I hope to live in a world one day that is free from this culture that promotes eating disorder behaviors. As I mentioned earlier, eating disorder recovery is possible, and it's so worth it to live a healthy and fulfilling life. Thank you everyone for being here today.